The history of Pakistan all starts with one man. Muhammad Ali Jinnah endorsed the Lahore Resolution, which called for the creation of an independent state for the Muslims. In August 1947, Jinnah's envisioned state of Pakistan came into existence, and he was made the first Governor General of the newly formed Muslim state. Unfortunately, Jinnah died a year after partition and had very little to do with the formative years of Pakistan. Unfortunately, after Jinnah, things got very messy for Pakistan. Immediately after Pakistan and India were split, they started to fight over Kashmir. I mention this because they are still fighting over Kashmir today, which is over 71 years later. Kashmir is widely regarded as the world's most militant zone. The region has witnessed 3 major wars between India and Pakistan, another limited war between India and China, numerous border skirmishes, high mountainous warfare, and ongoing insurgencies, a Hindu exodus, and internal civilian unrest. In most recent news, they are still protesting over the killing of a militant leader. So you might ask yourself, why is Kashmir so important? Geographically, all Pakistan rivers are coming down from Indian-occupied territory. Pakistan needs access to the rivers. Even though both countries have Indus water treaties in place, both countries don't trust each other, so they don't really follow it. Pakistanis feel that their independence was stolen by India by occupying Kashmir. So unless Kashmir is free from Indian occupation, the independence movement of Pakistan is not over. Most Pakistanis would gladly accept a sovereign state of Kashmir because they believe that the Indian occupation of Kashmir is undemocratic, illegal, and unethical. A solution to the problem, which was thrown in by General Musharraf, was to establish a sovereign state of Kashmir. India can easily influence the state not to play into the hands of Pakistan by lobbying, investment, and intimidation. Pakistan can do the same. We can build a free trade zone in Kashmir. People of Kashmir can travel to India and Pakistan without visas. Pakistan has repeatedly expressed the desire to negotiate the Kashmir issue. They tried and failed to use terrorism, insurgency, and whatnot. However, it is very crystal clear to Pakistan establishment, as well as to the Pakistani people, that the issue will not resolve until India decides to negotiate. Just like Kashmir, Pakistan has become a war zone with terrorism at an all-time high. So, how is terrorism affecting that part of the world? Pakistan has become crucial to U.S. and international efforts to fight terrorism, with the Taliban and Al-Qaeda safe havens in its tribal areas vastly complicating the international efforts to stabilize Afghanistan. According to the government of Pakistan, and direct and indirect economic costs of terrorism from 2000 to 2010 total $68 billion. Musharraf has admitted that terrorism outfits were deliberately created and nurtured by past governments as a policy to achieve some short-term tactical objectives. Terrorism in Pakistan originated with supporting the Soviet war in Afghanistan and the subsequent civil wars and continued for at least a decade. The conflict brought numerous fighters from all over the world to South Asia in the name of jihad. The Mujahideen fighters were trained by Pakistani's military, American CIA, and other Western intelligence agencies who carried out insurgent activities inside Afghanistan well after the war officially ended. From the summer of 2007 until the late 2009, more than 1,500 people were killed in suicide and other attacks on civilians. Pakistan is the 10th most dangerous country in the world. The post-9/11 war on terrorism in Pakistan has had 2 principal elements: the government's battle with jihad groups banned after the attacks in New York, and the U.S. pursuit of Al-Qaeda, usually in cooperation with Pakistani forces. In 2004, the Pakistani army launched a pursuit of Al-Qaeda members in the mountainous areas on the Afghan borders, although skeptics question the sincerity of this pursuit. In 2012, Pakistani leaders sat down and decided they wanted to sit down with the terrorists and see if they could reach some kind of agreement. However, all attempts of bringing the militants to the table have failed. In 2013, the political leaders in Pakistan give a green light to the military operation against terrorism. The operation is thought of as a comprehensive operation to flush out all foreign and local militants hiding in Pakistan. The operation has received widespread support from the Pakistani political, defense, and civilian sectors. So, you might ask yourself again, where's Pakistan headed, and will the violence ever end? Well, I think free trade, open borders, and an end to corruption may be our only hope of ending the cycle of terrorism between Pakistan and Afghanistan. The new surge of deadly terrorist attacks in Afghanistan, 3 during an 11-day span that killed scores of innocent civilians, including women and children, slashed physical and psychological scars onto citizens coping with trauma of a 40-year war. The Pakistan-backed Taliban claims responsibility, which leaves us with a dilemma. What can actually be done to stop this? Like so many conflicts, peace will require a new attitude from both sides. Pakistan could heed its populist opposition leader, Imran Khan, and focus on a free trade instead of terrorism, while Afghanistan could clean its own house of corruptions. But neither path can succeed without the other. The Afghan government reportedly sent a high-ranking delegation to Pakistan with evidence that Pakistani intelligence operatives orchestrated these attacks. U.S. President Donald Trump denounced the act of terrorism against Afghan civilians and suggested that if the U.S. can no longer talk to the Taliban, it is time to defeat them. This new credo of attacks comes from the U.S. after the U.S. accused Pakistan of supporting the Taliban and deceptively taking millions of dollars to fight terrorism while actually harboring terrorists. These remarks led some of the Pakistani military establishments to accuse the U.S. of blaming its own failure in Afghanistan on Pakistan. Neither the fiery rhetoric nor bombing seem to have an end in sight. Pakistan's Khan was right when he said that the future of relations between the two countries is open borders and free trade. If Pakistan would commit to those ideals, and if Afghanistan would clean up its own act and stand on its own 2 feet, perhaps we could finally end this senseless cycle of terrorism. Thank you so much for watching. These are my resources, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.